Hello everyone and welcome back to Mission Road in Hong Kong. Scotland, it's their turn to bat after Hong Kong posted 259. Unfortunately losing their last 7 wickets at a very rapid rate.
7 for 34 it was. Welcome back to you, Ryan Campbell, Max Abbott here with you in the commentary box, and the unfortunate thing is the rain that was supposed to come this afternoon has started to fall now, so that will be a little bit of a concern. Of course, this series has already been affected by the weather.
Unseasonal rain, they say. Maxie, never supposed to rain in January or December, but unfortunately we've had our fair share. The wettest January in something like 50 years, unfortunately, here in Hong Kong. But hopefully we can work our way through it and get through this match, because I feel it's going to be a pretty competitive game. The score may be 20 or 30 under what Hong Kong would have liked in the end after Anchaman Rath and Nizakat Khan batted absolutely magnificently. But that's the total they need to defend, and we'll see what happens.
And that beautiful noise you can hear is just the groundsman coming through on the tractor. He looks like he's going to get the covers ready, unfortunately.
They've had some work done, the old groundsman. Tanveer Afzal, the captain for Hong Kong, will be taking up the bowling duties. For Scotland, Kyle Coetzee will open the batting with his partner Callum McLeod. Tanveer Afzal's been outstanding for Hong Kong for a number of years. A miserly bowler, and he'll start us off.
Yeah, so 259 the score from Hong Kong. Probably about a pass score, I'd say, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, I guess we're all so scared now with these big scores being set in all these ODIs around the world, including the India versus Australian series. But, you know, 260 to win is still a competitive score. You know, if you got to bowl well, someone on the batting team has to bat very well to get you up there. So, you know, I think it's going to be a very good match.
So right on the money from the first delivery.
What I will say is that, you know, the pitch, it looks a good surface, but it was a little too paced. I think the Hong Kong bowlers will just need to be back of a length. They're medium pace bowlers, but also there was a couple of overs from young Callum McLeod. Didn't bowl that well, but there was turn there. And the Hong Kong team has a number of spinners in their side.
It's a good shot for no run.
Obviously, 2 new balls used in ODI, 1 from each end. So opening bowlers will be trying to get whatever they can out of it.
Kyle Kurt's a very experienced campaigner, probably the most experienced batsman in Scotland's lineup. Scored 156 in the World Cup against Bangladesh, the highest by an associate player.
Very good innings, that.
Tanvir Afzal bowls very straight, generally, at the stumps.
He's one of those old bowlers, hits the deck, tries to get a little bit of swing or seam if there is there, but really wants to get the Glenn McGrath type 6 out of 6 in the area. Try and starve the batsman of scoring opportunities.
It's in the air. Pulls safely, and a bit of a mix-up. I think might have gone to the wrong end there, but probably would have been safely home. So with a bit of a scare, Scotland off the mark.
Off the mark. Plenty happening there. Almost a catch, almost a run out. Some good work from Nizakat Khan in the field. And then Nadeem Ahmed was the one who hit threw the stumps down. Our first look at Callum McLeod. 33 one-day internationals to his belt. Highest score of 175, if you don't mind. Averaging 24.
Yeah, I believe that was against Canada in the World Cup qualifiers. 175. He's got a couple of hundreds to his name.
I knew you would know that, Maxie. For some reason today, you've just outshone yourself with your ability to get a stat.
I've got a lot to prove. From my days at Fox Sports previously, they love a stat there.
Yeah, research is everything.
That's a good first over from Tanvir Afzal. Just the one off it. And that's what Hong Kong going to need to do, build a bit of pressure. There is rain about at the moment. There's a very good chance this game is going to be decided by Duckworth-Lewis. So I guess with that in mind, Ryan, does that mean Scotland try and just keep wickets in hand, as that's going to keep their total a lot lower?
Yeah, or generally, the Duckworth-Lewis system does reward the team with the less amount of wickets. And unfortunately, when Hong Kong lost those last 7 wickets at a rapid rate, that will affect their Duckworth-Lewis scores as we go through. I think, if Scotland weren't to lose a wicket in the 20 overs, I think they only need to be about 58 or something like that is the figure. So, early wickets for Hong Kong needed. And for Scotland, good solid partnership to start. But let's keep our fingers crossed his weather somehow misses us.
Yeah, it doesn't look good for the next few days. We've had a bit of a break in the showers, you could say, yesterday and this morning. But they're just unfortunately returned. So hopefully we can get this game in.
Asib Amjad will take it up for Hong Kong. Another one of this opening bowling combination that they've been together for a number of years now, these two. Good competitor, good death bowler especially. Hits these Yorker length when he needs to.
And unfortunately, taking a look at the radar, it doesn't appear as though it's much missing.
That's not going around us, Maxie. That is coming straight through us, I'm afraid.
So,
and I know you're new to Hong Kong, but let me tell you, that pinpoint in the middle, that's us.
Yeah, well, hopefully if it does come, passes quickly. Got to get 15 overs in for a game.
I would have said 20, but 15 sounds about right. I do know that. It's in my head somewhere. Again, that's a good rock. That's an absolute beauty. Presenting the seam.
Yeah, minimum 20, Ryan. You're right. Minimum 20.
Not that you're wrong too
Reliable
often,
statistician informs me. 15 in the Sydney grade cricket scene, which is something that I'm.
You're not in Sydney now, buddy.
That's right.
actually, with all the T20s and the different formats, does get a bit confusing of what is the minimum requirement.
Tidy start here.
What they do need to do, Hong Kong, is to field very well. I thought Scotland were outstanding in the field. They dropped the one chance, which you could say was a sitter, but I thought their ground fielding, in particular, was outstanding.
So can you tell us a bit about Asib Amjad?
Well, he has been in Hong Kong for a number of years now, and he's a pretty solid competitor.
That's close. Maybe just outside the line.
Well, looked pretty straight, didn't it? Again, he got a good stride in. I think now that we see the Hawkeye and all that sort of stuff, that a lot more of those dismissals where the guy gets forward and gets hit on the pad are given out. Umpires are sort of seeing that, that's not a defence anymore.
Well, the umpires laughed it off the appeal, so maybe it wasn't so close.
Always good.
Again, bang on the money there. Impressive start here from Tanveer and Hasib.
Well, it is a good start. These first 10 overs are very important. Just got to starve the batsmen of opportunities, make them take the risk. Be very buzzing around in the circle, making sure that the lads are all over the fielding side of things. And bowlers, just keep very straight. Don't need to try too much. Present the seam, get your length right. What you generally find in Hong Kong games is Tanveer generally bowls quite a number of overs, and at times will bowl 10 in a row. They've identified that that's probably his best way of using himself. And again, now as captain, he's got a few more things on his plate. But if he's on a roll, I would have thought, if he goes 10 overs for 20, doesn't even matter if he loses wickets or takes wickets or not. He goes for 10 overs for 20, 25. Generally, we're on our way to win.
Well, I think the plan here for Hong Kong will be with the seamers, if they can build a bit of pressure, and hopefully by the time the spinners come into the game later on, the batsmen will have to start looking for boundaries.
Yeah, of course, all those Hong Kong spinners probably want this rain to stop very quickly, because tough occupation bowling spin when it's a bit wet.
So who's going to be the main spinner?
Well, it has been Nadeem Ahmed in the past. He's our number one off spinner. The left arm orthodox, has held that position since he debuted when he was 8. I think he's played about 27 years now. But again, they've discovered more and more about this playing group over the last few months, and if not year, where suddenly an Anchman Rath now can be thrown the ball to with his left arm orthodox spinner. Mark Chapman, when he's about, can also bowl spin. They do have a number of options up their sleeve when it comes to the spin bowling ranks.
Will the pressure be building on Scotland already here? 1 run in the 3rd over. They'll be getting edgy. It's early days, but as an opening batsman, you do like to just get your score going and not see your current run rate sitting at 0.4.
I think it's just about getting yourself in. I think the more pressure comes on each individual batsman getting off the mark, as we see in cricket today, as people walking in front of the side screens, which they forget that they're not a moving target.
It's well bowled again from Tanveer. That rain hasn't got any heavier, thankfully. It's probably on the edge of being too hard, but I think the umpires probably figure with what's behind on the radar, they might not want to come off because it may be very hard to get back on. So I think it's a good move from the umpires to stay out there, try and get as much cricket in as we can, because so far on this trip there hasn't been much of it, and looking at the forecast there may not be too much more, so it's the right move to stay out there.
Yeah, I know we've harped on it a little bit, but it is a shame because first time Hong Kong have hosted international cricket as an ODI nation. The grounds have come together beautifully. The catering, everything's been put in place. Corporate hospitality.
I'm still finishing off my lunch here. It's very good.
I didn't
Chicken
want to.
curry.
Obviously, you're not on the no carb diet, Maxie. But yeah,
I'm
it
on the
has.
high carb diet.
It has been a bit of a shame.
Well bowled again from Tanvir. Callum McLeod still yet to get off the mark. It's the end of the third over. It's none for one. The umpires not coming together yet for any discussion.
Like you
They
say,
are on the walkie-talkies.
they're probably starting to order their room service for later on today when they're talking on the walkie-talkies. What time's it coming? Yeah, make sure I'll have a double at around 3:30, 3:45.
The life of an umpire. Hey, Ryan?
Yeah, good gig, isn't it? Never under pressure. Put your finger up when you want to. Count to 6. Can't be that hard.
It's in the air. And again, that probably reflects the sluggish nature of this pitch. It has been getting slower. We saw Jamie Atkinson in Hong Kong's innings fall to a similar delivery to that one where it held up off the pitch and he was caught at cover. In case you have just joined us, Hong Kong made 259 in their first innings, with two of their batsmen getting very close to hundreds. Anshuman Rath 97 and Nizakat Khan 94 for a late collapse. Still no run.
Yeah, that was tongue-in-cheek by the umpires on the way. So before everyone jumps on the Twitter feeds and starts to abuse me or troll me, we do love an umpire. But yeah, like we said a little bit earlier, that the surface is a good batting one. Once you get in, it's fantastic. But occasionally you can just see it's a little too pace. That shot from Coetzee off the back foot just held up a little bit.
It's Kurtzer there getting it away for a single. And for two. And I reckon the Hong Kong boys might just be reminding Callum McLeod he's not off the mark yet.
What are you saying that? They sledge, Hong Kong lads.
No, just think there might be a quiet reminder.
Well,
is that sledging?
They obviously don't listen to the batting coach because there should be a lot more of it.
And he's off the mark now. So all that chat will be quickly silenced.
Always a nice moment when you get off the mark.
Nice moment. But again, good bowling from Hazeeb Amjad. And also having picked up a wicket here, Hong Kong. They haven't offered any freebies to the Scottish batsmen. And from Hong Kong's perspective, that's all you can ask. Good shot. That'll be 4. Generally, when the field has been pierced today, the ball has run away pretty quickly to the boundary, and that's the first of the Scottish innings. Kyle Kurtzer showing his class there. He's from Northamptonshire. I believe he's just left that county, but he's got a lot of county cricket under his belt, so he'll be a big wicket for Hong Kong to try and get.
Yeah, a lot of experience in this lineup for Scotland. A lot of county experience as well, but Haseeb there just erring, gave him a bit of width, and he pounced all over it.
And that ends the over. Scotland none for 7 after 4.
I must admit, I am a little surprised about the field settings. Yes, it looks pretty standard, 2 slips, fine leg, third man, all that sort of stuff. But I just felt that with the conditions and the pace of the wicket, that perhaps the catches shouldn't really be in the slip coordinate. It should be in front of the wicket, the short covers, short mid wickets, really make it hard for the Scottish players to, just pierce the gaps or get singles in front of the wicket. I just got a feeling that they'd be more in play if they were at that short cover, short mid wicket, so to speak. But in saying that, there'll probably be catch the second slip in a second.
You're not sure what the issue was there, but something put off Callum McLeod. There is a bit of traffic going towards the softball and tennis courts, which are just behind from where Tanvir Afzal is bowling. It's well bowled. Oh, almost back onto the stumps. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's too much swing or movement off the deck there. Just looking at our monitors here, it doesn't appear to be decking around everywhere, so the better bet might just be to ring it up and build pressure.
Build pressure. And again, you're hoping for that just back of a length. Doesn't quite come through at the same pace. Batsman just hitting it on the up.
Just been handed a very important sheet of paper, which is the Duckworth-Lewis equations. And basically when this match does become a result game at 20 overs, Scotland are none down. The par score is 58, so they would need to be on 59 for victory. And if they're one down, they'll need to be on 70 after 20 overs. So that's very achievable if with some safe and careful batting. Well, that's close.
That's close. Big appeal.
Ooh.
Sliding down the leg side, if anything.
Yeah, I did. That was the only thing it could have been. It certainly wasn't going over the top, and it certainly didn't hit him outside the line. So it's a bit lucky there, Callum McLeod. He's batting a long way out of his crease there. Notice Callum McLeod. So perhaps the umpires picked that up. The ball's got a bit further to travel before it gets to the stumps.
Yeah, but obviously he's summed up the conditions. It's not like Tanvir, his pace is going to affect him. As we speak, he's obviously listening into the broadcast because Kinchit Shah is leaving second slip and coming to a short cover. Now, if everything goes to plan, he'll just
You did give him an earpiece out there, Tanvir, didn't you? So you could offer some instruction.
That's not illegal, is it? Just listening into the broadcast.
Assistance.
YouTube's free.
Bowled him. There's the first for Hong Kong. And it's Tanvir Afzal. We said he bowled straight. And after a close LBW shout earlier in the over, he's picked up the big wicket of Kyle Kurtzer. And that's an important strike for Hong Kong with the rain around. And not one of Kyle Kurtz's best shots, perhaps.
Well, you spoke earlier about the pressure of 5 overs, looking up at the score and only being 7 or 8, and that was just a dirty slog, to be honest. It was straight into next week over mid-on, and unfortunately for Scotland, they've lost their first wicket, and Hong Kong will be pretty happy with that. Yep. It's been a good opening 4 or 5 overs.
Yeah, 1 for 9 now. 4.5 overs. The pressure just built there on the Scots. Some tidy bowling from Hong Kong, and they've been able to get a reward. So Tanvir Afzal continues his good form from the UAE tour. Picked up regular wickets there.
Well, this is going to be a test for the bowling side now, because Matt Machin is the new batsman. Machin. And grammar wasn't one of my greatest things. Left-hand batsman. So the left-hand, right-hand combination will be at work.
Got an ODI 100 to his name. Impressed in the World Cup. Bruce Dixon, the president of Scotland, was in commentary earlier and did mention Machin as
Machin. Depends on what side of the country you live in. You're a Sydney side. Me, as a West Australian, we're a bit more ochre than you.
That's right. I'm well aware of that.
Pretty boy Sydney siders.
That's gone. That's caught behind. So first ball, Matt Machin is on his way.
Well, you can call what, that's the thing, Maxie. That is a very, the young man, or exactly where you want to be first up.
Just angled away.
And a little bit of angle. And if anything, you could probably say you could almost have let that go in the first part of your innings, but suddenly 2 for 8.
This is a massive start now because when you look at that 20 over mark, which when you're after 5 you're on 8, that actually is going to take a bit of reaching. So a couple of massive wickets here for Hong Kong early in the innings. Tanvir Afzal leading from the front, the skip up. And well, we did see a couple of wickets fall early in Hong Kong's innings as well. Don't know if it's to do with the pitch or the conditions too much.
Well, cometh the hour, cometh the man, as they say, and it's the skipper, Preston Mommsen, will take to the crease now with his side. Some early trouble at 2 for 8. He's an experienced campaigner, though. He does have a high score of 139. The average at 28 is a little bit not as high as what he'd hoped for, batting at number 4. But look, he's a good player. But it's not him that we're going to be on strike, because that was the last ball of the over. Hasib Amjad back into the attack.
Well stopped. That was going to the boundary. Anshuman Rath got some runs. Now he's saving them in the field.
Oh, it's the beauty of youth. They should all be there. All those youngsters in the circle. Just a 19-year-old. It's probably the best fielder in Hong Kong in my book. And then you go around the field and you look at some good fielders. Azaz Khan is a pretty good fielder. Bubba Hyatt's got a very strong outfielder.
From Azib. Spence. Tanvir Afzal at the other end. When he bowls his first delivery, he'll be on a hat-trick.
So here you go. You're a bowler, Maxie. Would you prefer 3 balls in a row? Obviously, you need 3 balls in a row for a hat-trick. But do you like that you've got an over to wait and think about that ball where you're going to bowl it? Or
well, I'll just ponder that while Hazib delivers this ball. I personally would prefer to have it 3 in a row. I think you're in the momentum. You've got your 2 wickets. You're on a roll. You just want 3 and 3. Having to sit down at fine leg and think about it for an over and come back, it's not quite the same. You'll still count it and you'll still take it if you can pick it up. Be a nice claim to have, a one-day international hat-trick.
What about those hat-tricks in test matches like Merv Hughes, where he took 2 in the last 2 balls of an innings, or a test match, and then the first ball of his next?
Well, I don't even think Merv realised he'd taken a hat-trick on that occasion, so that's not much good if you don't even know you've taken it. It takes the enjoyment out of it.
Does it still count?
Absolutely. But the joy, the elation, right? That's what you're looking for as a bowler, and I think you get the maximum benefit of that if you can take 3 on the trot.
Fair enough. Fair enough. We want to keep it, like I said before, very simple for you bowlers. 1, 2, 3.
That's what Joe Angel said, isn't it?
Keep it simple, stupid.
It's well bowled from Azib. No wickets, but he's not going for any runs.
Well, I think it's one of those wickets that you just have to bowl straight. You don't have to try and bowl too fast. You don't have to try too many variations. Up front, nice and solid. Obviously, 2 wickets are down, so the pressures naturally builds up. Just starve the batsman of opportunities to release the pressure valve, so to speak.
That's well bowled. Ends the over. Got the hat-trick ball coming up. Go away. It's 2 for 8.
Well, it's a peach to finish the over, let me tell you. That ball in the corridor, just a little bit away, a little bit of leg cut. And Scotland lucky not to be 3 down, but as it is, it's going to be the skipper to face his first ball against the Hong Kong skipper, who's on a hat-trick.
And I don't think there'll be it'll be too difficult to guess where Tanvir will try and bowl this one. He'll be aiming straight at the stumps. Give himself as many options to get this wicket as possible.
Yeah, expect a mighty roar if it hits him on the pad.
Are you going to go up? Am I going to go up? Who's going up? If he gets
Hey,
we both go up.
we're commentators, mate. We're keeping it very, very in the middle, staying on the picket fence. Go Hong Kong.
Oh, well, it was a good delivery.
It was bang on the money, though. He did have to play it. Very straight.
One difference so far between the Hong Kong and Scotland innings, whilst Scotland did pick up a couple of wickets early on, they did offer the odd full toss, short wide delivery, which was put away, which at least just kept the run rate ticking along for Hong Kong. So far in this innings, we pretty much haven't seen a bad ball from Hong Kong here. They've been just on a good length, hitting the top of off stump.
Yeah, absolutely. You did get that sense, didn't you? When Hong Kong were batting, there were boundaries flowing in those first 10 overs. So even though they were losing wickets, there was never a really poor run rate, if you know what I mean. So blokes who came in then actually could take a little bit more time, get themselves in, establish a partnership without the pressure of a low run rate.
Yeah, 2 for 8 after 6.2 overs. It's by no means panic stations.
No, of course not.
But
you know, again, like we saw in the Hong Kong innings, one partnership changes it all. You know, you can score as fast as you want. And again, the Scottish players are obviously thinking, okay, there's light drizzle falling, which you probably can't see on your computers. But it is just light drizzle. And with the Kookaburra balls, there's one being used from either end. But once the lacquer goes off that new ball, water gets into the seam, it becomes very tough to hang on to. It obviously, this ball gets softer so that it won't seam around as much. And then it's time to cash in as a batsman.
Yeah, it is just coming down a little bit heavier. Just wonder whether they might they take the risk of getting a spin or try and get through some overs.
Yeah, that's an interesting one, isn't it? When you're on top in this situation, it's literally get through your overs as fast as you can. As soon as it's 20 overs are up, boom. And we've got our noses in front. That's fantastic. So, you know, there may be an opportunity, perhaps after that 10-over power play, to bring a Nadeem, a spinner on, and try and whiz through as many overs as you can as quickly as you can. Again, I fear that we're not going to get to that 20 overs.
That's what Scotland need to do here. They're under a bit of pressure. Just try and find a few singles, tick the scoreboard over. And that does end the over. 2 for 9, just the one off it. And Tanvir Afzal's got pretty impressive figures. 4 overs, 2 for 3. That's not bad going.
Oh, I hate to say it, he's just a consummate professional. And here, as we speak, the umpires have come together and are having a brief chat. They've even taken their hats off just to see if the rain is falling. And unfortunately, they are calling to the groundsman and saying, come and put the covers on. Got to remember, it doesn't rain too often in India. So, Nepal. So the umpires, Kulkarni and Pradhan, saying that's heavy enough.
I'm a bit surprised. I don't know if it's much heavier than it was, but it has been falling for pretty much 7 or 8 overs so far in the innings. So maybe they just decided this wicket is getting a bit too much water. We've got to get them off. And unfortunately, now it's going to have to completely stop, I would have thought, for them to go back on. Which could make things difficult because the radar suggests that there is not too many breaks in the weather. It may not get particularly heavy, but at this stage it's a fairly solid band of rain that is coming towards this area. So Scotland are 2 for 9 after 7 overs. And in case you just joined us, Hong Kong earlier made 259. They were at one stage 3 for 225 with 7 overs to go. The Scottish bowlers executed their plans very well in the final overs. Lots of slower ball, short balls mixed in with the quicker ones, and Hong Kong didn't quite handle it. Lost their last 7 wickets for 34 and came up a little bit shorter of what it looked like they would get, but they've made a very strong start with the ball. Scotland 2 for 9 with 7 overs, so we need to get another 13 in for a game.
Yeah, like we say, it's, you know, at the start of the day we were throwing up 250, and then at one point of the innings I think we were starting to throw up 300 was the pass score. But again, you can be 150 if suddenly you got the opposition 2 for 8, 3 for 8, 4 for 20 or something. All of a sudden that seems a long way away. But the sight we didn't want to see, apart from George Munson coming over to say good day to us, is rain is falling and the big covers are coming out, and this may interrupt us for a little period of time.
Yeah, well, I think at this stage, right, we're best to take a break. I don't think we can continue to talk.
Yeah, you don't want to listen to our mindless chat for the next 20 minutes, do you?
Need a bit of cricket action in there to support.
Yes, well, let's keep our fingers crossed and we'll get back to us as quick as we can.
いさーい。谢谢。
Well, some good news here. Some good news. The players are coming back out onto the ground. Ryan Campbell and myself weren't that confident we would get back on, but the rain has eased off. It's still spitting somewhat. But now we get a bit of a Scottish flavour entering the commentary box for Ryan Campbell. George Munsey for his second stint, hoping to improve on the first, no doubt.
Always looking to improve, always.
So 2 for 8, not the start I imagined coach was hoping for.
No, it's not, but you know, you look at our squad and the way we bat right down the order, it always fills us with positivity, you know, going out and through as a team. We've got 2 guys at the crease now that just need to graft a little bit, get themselves in and look to start scoring some runs.
Probably not a bad time for a little rain delay just to come off and regroup.
Yeah, it's never easy with a rain delay, but it's one of those things you just got to get through as a player and just, you know, progress from there.
Must have been happy with the way Scottish bowlers pulled things back in the final overs there. They executed their plans very well.
Yeah, no, in the last 10 they bowled extremely well, like you say. Ali Evans leading from the front, not only with the ball but with the fielding as well, with a great run out that sort of changed the way we were going in the field. It just brought everyone up a little bit.
Yeah, for those just joining us, Hong Kong were 3 for 225 at one stage with 7 overs.